financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is your estate plan may not cut it. Ladies first, Jenny Lingl. Good morning.
Hi, Ken. Good to see you.
Brian, Mr. Brian Small.
A pleasure to be here.
That's Damasco.
Good morning, Ken. Good morning.
All right, so a little bit different topic today. We've talked about estate planning many times on the show, but it's usually always starting with the basics. You know, you need your pour-over will, you need your living trust. We talk about the need for the durable power of attorney and the healthcare power. I still want to touch on those subjects, but I want to focus today on if you have an estate plan, do you need to look at it? Could it be outdated? Is it properly done? And I kind of, as I was driving in this morning, I was thinking of an analogy. You know, you've got tires on your car.
Thanks for talking about my tires.
And then you're thinking, okay, someone's calling you up saying you need new tires. Nobody wants, does anybody ever want to change the tires on their car? Do you get excited by new tires?
No.
Now, in your case, Pat,
Oh, don't even.
it's a different situation.
Mr. Flat Tire himself.
How many flat tires have you had in the last 5 years?
Oh, I think I'm on 9 new tires, and each tire is $550 a piece. Hitting potholes and nails. And
This kind of qualifies as the Ripley's Believe It or Not story on tires. But it is a little bit off track. Moving the analogy back to estate planning. So,
And I talk about wasting money when you buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Yes.
yes, because then you have this whole big story that you like to tell about going out and buying an $800 coffee maker so that you can then make the coffee at home
And
at
it tastes the
a
same.
net savings of $135 a month
Right.
to recoup the $800 cost of the coffee machine in 6 months so that for the rest of your life you save $135 a month.
You've been paying attention.
I've been paying
I
attention.
feel like Brian's being paid by the maker of the what's the name
no,
of the
no,
coffee
no,
maker?
no, wait.
Delange.
He hasn't been sponsored officially. When he does get sponsored, there's probably going to be a name tag with
They won't sponsor him because he will not drink coffee.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee. That's the funny thing.
I would be a qualified sponsor, I think. All right, now back to estate planning. So I want to break it into 2 categories. Changes in the law that have occurred over the last 20, 30 years, and also we'll integrate in there your circumstances change, which could always cause a need to revise your estate plan. But let's talk about first change in law that came to my mind. We've all heard of HIPAA. Everyone who's gone to a doctor knows that the medical profession is paranoid about compliance with HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996 that protects protected health information. They call it PHI. So you have all these requirements. Well, included in that is when you did a durable power of attorney. If your power of attorney doesn't address protected health information, no hospital is going to recognize the durable power. So, agreed? If it predates 1996 or it doesn't address HIPAA, throw it away.
Well,
as a durable power.
it's actually worse than that because the state of Michigan gives out free medical power of attorneys. You just download it and you fill in the blanks. The free state of Michigan medical power of attorney doesn't have the HIPAA language in it.
Yeah,
So the one that it comes from
right,
state of Michigan doesn't have the fix of what they required to be fixed in the first place. So any downloaded medical power of attorney from the state of Michigan, or you get from your senator's office or a legislature, or the hospitals give them out for free, doesn't have the HIPAA language
Haven't they
contained
been
in it.
contacted on that by any attorney?
No, the reality is, yeah, me.
Saying,
They
hey,
don't-
guys, if you're going to
Duh.
offer
There's
this.
just no one
Duh.
there to fix it. There's
Well,
no one to take the
this
bull
is
by
the
horn.
reality, though. Doctors don't have a clue of what the law is under that. Hospitals don't have a clue of what the law is. If it ever gets challenged, it's going to be a challenge.
That's where you run into the problem. You can go back to the challenging concept of go back to where all of this really started and why you need these documents in the first place. The Terry Schiavo case out of Florida, which put the need for a medical power of attorney in the forefront of everybody's mind from a estate planning standpoint. You know, you had the
Because that's the first time it ever got challenged.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's
and
crazy.
nobody had any authority to do anything. And imagine if you're challenging this, and your power of attorney is ineffective.
Yeah.
So then also, power of attorney law in Michigan changed. They amended the law in 2012. Now your attorney that you appoint has to sign an acknowledgement, and that acknowledgement has to contain specific provisions that the Act says. So if you had your power done prior to 2012, you wouldn't have that acknowledgement in there. No bank, no hospital, no one's going to recognize that durable power. So anyone who's had one drafted prior to 2012, by all means, your power is not going to be effective.
Well, aren't they grandfathered in?
It's really funny though, and you go into
They are technically grandfathered in, you're right, but no one recognizes the grandfathers of the world.
It gets into the next part of it though. It's like the gifting, the law. If you want to do Medicaid planning, you have to do gifting, and you have to have language within the power of attorney that allows the gifting. But it's not that there's a law change. The reality is the attorneys that are doing the power of attorneys, they pick the one off the shelf that they've done for the last 20 years, and they say sign here. 90% of those power of attorneys don't have the language that we need to protect the assets from a nursing home.
It's even worse than that.
So if it was done last week, it still doesn't have the language in it.
Because like when I do a durable power of attorney and I use an elaborate program that does it, that gives you a array of options of what powers you want to include or not include. Well, the gifting one, an attorney that doesn't understand Medicaid planning says, well, I don't want to give the attorney the power to gift. That's letting him do things he shouldn't be able to do. So that concern, the attorney that doesn't understand Medicaid program says, I don't want to allow gifting. But the right answer is you need to allow it.
Well, the way that I
Explain
look
why.
at it is you have to pick the person that you trust implicitly and give them all the powers that they need.
We're coming up to a break. When we come back, I want you to explain why gifting is important for Medicaid planning.
Absolutely.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. So Masco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, we're back. So, Pat, the power of attorney. Why is the power to gift important? Because I would think, I don't know if Brian was my power of attorney. If he was, I don't want him gifting all my assets to his children.
No, but the idea is that you want to protect
Why
the
not?
assets.
I got good kids.
Well, that's it. If you
I don't think my wife
if
would
you have,
appreciate
this
that.
is the rule. If you have 5 kids and one of them's a heroin addict, don't pick that kid to be your power of attorney. Pick the good kid to be the power of attorney. And if you pass away, if you get sick and you have to go to the nursing home, you have to get your assets out of your name 5 years before you're in the nursing home. So you have to have gifting language in the power of attorney to allow that to happen. Every power of
Except that isn't really true. Getting the assets out of your name 5 years before allows you to do anything you want. You didn't really have to do the Medicaid planning. But if it's less than 5 years, since nobody knows when they're going to the nursing home, that power to gift allows you to get that Medicaid planning done, even
That's
at the
your-
last
that's
minute,
your
right?
emergency
Yeah,
planning.
that's the pre-planning. Crisis planning is, oh crap, we're in the nursing home tomorrow, next week. So with the power of attorney, the other big thing on the power of attorney is having the ability to change beneficiaries. If dad's got cancer and mom has dementia, when dad dies and his 401k goes to mom, the nursing home will take it all. You have to change the beneficiary from dad to the kids to avoid mom going into mom's estate where the nursing home will take it. If dad can't sign because he's in hospice and he's mentally incompetent, you need the power of attorney to allow that change. And no power of attorneys have that.
And you also have to realize something. The power of attorney has to be in place before dad has dementia,
Right.
because he can't sign it at that point.
The easiest explanation is when you're looking at the people that prepared those documents for you. It's like going to CVS and getting your flu shots, but now you got cancer, you're going to the cancer specialist. You got to go to the cancer specialist, which we would consider ourselves, because we know what the rules are. It's not just getting a shot here, it's the actual fixing and having the tools that we need in the toolbox.
So not only do you need the power to gift, you need in the power of attorney the power to change beneficiaries on IRAs
Yes.
and assets.
Create-
No general powers of
No,
attorney.
it's
that
actually
include that.
called special power of attorneys. Create trusts, irrevocable trusts, amend trusts, change beneficiaries, gifting. But with that, you have to have someone that you trust
It's got
to
to
do
be
it.
the good son.
Yeah,
or
you
the
have
good daughter.
to. And so if you look out in the TV world, every parent, you ask them, do you have any good kids? And they'll say, yeah, I have a good kid. Then you ask that same kid, are you the good kid? Right? Because you got to have both.
Of course I am.
Well,
You know,
then,
Pat, I think you're
then you
using
do
the
it.
wrong language. I think
No,
what you're
you
trying to
asked-
say is the
you
more
asked
stable.
You asked the other
Good
sibling,
kid.
is he a good kid? Oh, no,
Every
he's not the good kid.
if you ask the 5 kids, which one of your 4 siblings do you trust to help protect the money? And they'll all pick that one, that one, that one. Which one wouldn't you let hold a nickel? I wouldn't let that one hold a nickel.
That doesn't
So
make
you
him
pick-
not a good kid.
It's
Pat.
good
Let's talk
kid
about
lang-
stable,
Well, I
financially
use
sound
good kid
decisions.
language, bad kid language. Good kids, you can have great kids that have bad things happen to them, but they're still great kids, right?
Right.
So you don't pick the one that's a heroin addict or the drug addict or 5th marriage.
Yeah,
or,
they're all of
they
those
have
are good kids, but we want the one that's
Or the
financially
one,
Yeah.
or the one that's
stable
$100,000
and more
in
reliable.
credit card
Right,
debt,
almost.
or hasn't paid their
All right,
taxes
let me
since
give you another
02.
another change. So these are changes in scenarios. These are legal reasons why you need the documents you probably have in place are deficient. Here's another interesting one. We've always done what's called the A-B trust in estate planning and trusts, going back to the time I got out of law school in 1982. And it was always designed because of the estate tax. Back then, you could exempt out of your estate $600,000. And if you had an estate greater than 600, you could exempt up to 1.2 million if you created an AB trust. And in the AB trust, to try and simplify it, you would leave to your spouse the first $600,000 of your assets, which would be exempt from estate tax. But in order to do that, when you left it to your spouse, there were a few strings attached. Your spouse couldn't just take the money. Otherwise, it would be a gift, and it would qualify for the marital deduction, and it wouldn't use up the exemption.
And they couldn't change beneficiaries.
You couldn't change beneficiaries. You could only take. You'd have a 5 and 5 power to take out 5% or $5,000
Right.
a year. You could use the money for your reasonable support and maintenance, but you couldn't have it outright. Well, now the estate tax exemption is up to $11 million per person, $22 million
For a while.
for a while. It sunsets in
But it was
2026.
$5 million, so even that's a huge amount.
But here's the point. You're not going to practice, if you have an estate combined under $11 million, you don't need the AB trust unless you want it.
But if you do have an estate of $11 million, call Samasco Law Offices today. We can help you.
But call me first.
No,
If
but
you have any legal
no,
problems.
but here's the reality. How
That's a
many
good one, Pat.
we've been dealing with AB trusts through what year? When did they stop being so popular to do?
Well,
I mean,
I
When the
would say,
exemption got so high.
Right.
I would say around 2011 is when, after the repeal occurred, and then they went up to $5 million. Because here's the point. It's, let's say, I talked to a client 2 weeks ago, and she had I did her estate plan in 2008. I said, it's okay, except you have to realize her husband had dementia at this point. If he passes away, the assets all flow to you from his trust, but it's subject to, you can't take it and do whatever you want with the money. You have to follow the terms of the trust. If he's still of sound mind and we can revise the trust at this point, we can make it so that if you want, when he passes away, you then decide how the money is handled.
And if he's not a sign mind, what do you need? A power of attorney.
A power of attorney.
That allows you to do
before.
it, yeah.
I mean, his power of attorney actually that he had from 2004 was springing.
Yeah.
And we wanted to change it to a non-springing
Yeah.
power at this point. So that's a good one. Springing versus non-springing power. What is
Springing
that?
power is that you need 2 doctor's notes to say that you're sick before the power springs into effect, which is a lot of times there's some hoops that you have to jump through.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, I want to clarify that in terms of what is it that springs.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 a.m., Saturdays 7 o'clock a.m., and on KISS 105.9, Sundays at 7 a.m. Be sure and sign up for our monthly contest. Free $50 Visa gift card, Law and Reality hat, and copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Just go on the website, sign up there. You pop in your email address, and you're signed up. Also, if you can, go on Google and give us a review. Click on Google. You have to have a Gmail account. Review what you think of the show. We really appreciate it. And go to Facebook and like us on Facebook. We've got seminars coming up on Wednesday, May 29th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Estate Planning 101, the absolute essentials. We're going to go through the basics of an estate plan, documents you need while you're living, documents that you need to cover your death, how to avoid probate, and more importantly, we're also going to cover the situation where you may think you have an estate plan that works, but it's probably outdated and why you need to update it and change it for the better for the future. So if you have an estate plan and it's more than 2 years old, or you're not sure that it was done right, you should by all means attend this seminar. Attendees get a $300 gold certificate off the cost of an estate plan. Sign up at thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or call 888-235-HELP. Then on Wednesday, June 12th, 6 to 7:30 p.m., we have a debt relief seminar called Transforming Debt to Savings, the Smart Play. We're going to teach you and show you how you change the pattern of paying $500, $600 a month on your credit card bills and on your medical bills, so that you change it so that $500, $600 starts going to your savings account for your future retirement rather than going to your creditors. It is the smart thing to do. It is attainable. All you have to do is come to the seminar, learn how to do it, and then make the right decisions. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Jenny Lingl is going to participate and do a special segment on how to adjust tax issues. Sign up at thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or call 888-235-HELP. And remember, you can always come into THAV Gross and Law and Reality for a free consultation. Just go to the website and click one of the consult requests, or call our offices at any time at 888-235-HELP. You've got debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business issues, elder law issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeff, criminal law issues with Corey Silverstein. Just call our offices, take advantage of the opportunity for a free consultation. Also, go to the website and check out our free reports. The most recent brand new report is Resolving Tax Problems, the Real Solutions, written by Jenny and myself. It has a lot of great information on how to address tax problems. Also, how to save your home from foreclosure, business formations, loans and grants for small businesses in Detroit and Michigan, and the Retiree's Guide from Social Security from Pat Simasko. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV Gross, Simasko Law, Jeff Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
I love you too. Bye-bye. That was Jerry. Emma just said her first word.
Oh.
Jerry says hello and they'll be over soon.
Who's Jerry? Is he a friend of yours?
No. This Jerry. Our Jerry. And this is his wife and their little girl.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, so when we talk about springing power, is it says the power of attorney doesn't come into play, doesn't empower or authorize your agent to act until you are incapacitated.
Okay, no, mentally incompetent. So if Dad had a hip operation and he can't leave the hospital to go to the bank, a springing power of attorney wouldn't be, the power of attorney isn't in effect because you need two doctors to say that he's incompetent and can't act. Well, if you just have a broken hip, you're not incompetent. A durable power of attorney says, I picked Jenny to make my decisions right now and she can go to the bank immediately. Yeah. A medical power of attorney is always springing. You have to have two doctors to say that you're incompetent before your patient advocate has the right to make your decisions. Trust agreements typically say you need two doctors to say that you're
typical.
sick. So, but for the financial power of attorney, you can pick. I pick my wife. I pick my responsible child to make my decisions
what
right
do you mean by
now.
Responsible
well,
child?
there's a
you were talking about earlier about the good child and the bad child.
Right. It's just a phrase that I use that can offend somebody, but if you have a good kid...
What's offensive about
my
it?
definition of good kid is the responsible kid. If I have a heroin addict child, I don't consider him to be a responsible person, so I'm not going to pick him to be the financial power of attorney.
You mean that you don't want them to take all the money out of the account, run it into their veins, and or put it on Red 27 at the casino?
Child. He can be a good child in the world of a responsible to take care of
For the sake of our viewers, while we were at commercial break, we had a little debate among ourselves in terms of, and Jenny pointed out legitimately that the good child could have financial problems and that the bad child who we're labeling as bad because they're financially irresponsible could still be a good
I
kid.
didn't like the labels. I don't think
and
people are
labels-
bad
and for the
people
most
because
part,
they have problems.
Labeling is not a good
And you know
thing.
what? A lot of times, even when we're doing the durable power of attorney, the patient advocate, we will have a different person be the durable power
Yeah.
of attorney versus the patient advocate, because sister is the nurse and she understands medical care and is going to make a less emotional decision, and brother is the CPA and he'll be the perfect.
Good point. We got 2
financial
minutes
guy.
left. There was one other change in the law that was
Beneficiary
big.
IRA.
IRA beneficiary.
Huge problem.
How did the law change? We only got a
huge
couple
law.
minutes, Matt.
Okay, if mom gets sued, the IRA, the 401k is protected in bankruptcy court. If mom died and the IRA goes to the kids, historically those were protected
Danny
as a
gets the
beneficiary.
IRA.
That changed. Now, if the kid inherits the IRA as a beneficiary IRA, it's no longer protected in bankruptcy court.
What's
That
the
is,
fix?
you got to have the beneficiary to be a trust agreement that has creditor protection language in
See,
it.
when we do a trust, Pat, when all of us do our trust agreements, because we do them the right way, if the client has IRAs, we include in the trust a provision. It's a lengthy provision because there's a lot of technicalities to it, but the beneficiary of the IRA becomes the trust rather than the named individual.
So when they come in, if you have kids that have creditor problems or bankruptcies or alcohol or heroin, I have bad kid language that I call bad kid language because you put a lot more protections in there. Then you have the other language for good kids that have no problems, no history of financial problems, and then I call it the good kid language.
And you
it's
can-
just a different form of language. It's easily explained to the parents.
And you can keep it separate.
Which
you can
covers
protect
those contingencies.
You can protect money for the good kids and the bad kids in different ways.
Right.
And everybody gets their distribution, and the key is that if you're careful and you do it right, the creditors will never get to it.
Right.
We're
That's
down
the law
we're down
change.
to the last minute, and we never even got to change in circumstance. What we just went through were changes in the law that means you need to relook at your estate plan because it's probably out of date. Beyond that, divorce, children with financial issues, children with marital issues, Medicaid issues, those are changes in circumstance that require you to take a look at your current estate plan and say, do I need to change it? Bottom line, if you haven't had your estate plan done in the last year or two, you should always, as a matter of doctor care of yourself, have a fresh look. Come in, meet with us, go over it, see what works, what doesn't, change it as needed. It's a smart play.
And most assuredly, if it's over 10 years old, you definitely need to be looking at it. It is way
the
too old.
gifting, the patient advocate, you got a million problems to resolve. That's a wrap. Pat, thanks. Jenny, thanks. Brian, we'll be back next week with Law and Reality.